Thank you for listening to the Crown Refs podcast, the audio experience for basketball officials. Serve the game.
Sorry, I'm late, Zach. I was getting pampered. We on?
We are on, yes.
Oh, my bad. Welcome back to the Crown Refs podcast, the audio experience for basketball officials. I am proud to announce this is episode 205. Round of applause. 205. Mr. Murphy, did you know that? No, hold on. Hold on, partner. Did you know in this last 365 days, we've released over 100 episodes of the Crown Refs podcast? 100.
You're saying 205, right? Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, episode 205 of the Crown Refs podcast. Yes, sir.
Yep. Where have I been? I mean, have I been absent the past month? What?
Zach, I don't know about your whereabouts. We're on a Zoom call. I don't know where you've been, sir.
205. So where are the other 40, whatever? How many?
I'm sorry?
You got like 40 podcasts missing.
I don't have any podcasts missing, Zach. I mean, I did have storage issues on my computer recently, but fortunately, I was able to upload everything, so I didn't lose anything. But no, I don't have anything missing on my end. Yeah, what's your issue?
I'm not seeing 205, 204, 203. Where's? I don't understand. I mean, you got.
Listen, Zach, I don't know where the confusion lies. The last episode I did was episode 204 with Penny Davis, who is the national coordinator of women's officiating. Tremendous guest. Shout out to Penny Davis. I appreciate you. And that was the wonderful Women of Officiating episode 7. Yeah, that's what I got. You don't have that on your end?
I don't have that. I mean, that sounded like a good episode to watch, but am I missing something?
What episode do you have last?
Let's check here. Apple Podcasts, Crown Refs.
I know what happened. I know what happened.
159.
Okay. I get it. I understand where the confusion lies. That's my fault, partner. I didn't bring 100% information in. I thought you knew. But,
so you didn't post them?
Zach, we moved.
Who moved?
We moved.
Who moved?
Oh, me and the whole community. We left town a couple Fridays ago.
The
We're
community. Out. So you all moved?
The whole podcast community. We just packed our bags and we moved from the city of Spotify and the city of Apple Music and the countries of Instagram and Facebook, and we relocated.
And you didn't tell me? Where'd you guys go?
Sorry, you didn't get the memo. We migrated to the villages of Patreon and Discord.
Patron?
No, Patreon.
Patreon.
Say it. Patreon.
Patreon. Is that right? Patreon. Okay.
Yes.
Where is Patreon?
Oh, it's located in the App Store.
In the App Store.
Yes.
Okay. Discord, Zach, is that? What is that?
Zach, it's all right there. Look up. You'll see it. Zach, up. Up.
Patreon.
Zach, your other up.
Hold on, let me go find it.
No. Sit down, sir. Zach, please sit. Sit. Thank you.
Okay.
Just look up to your right, my man. Look up to your right. No, Zach, your other right.
Oh, you mean
up?
You mean on here? Up.
See it?
What is that?
I don't know. You tell me. Can you read it?
Does that say patron?
No. Well, remember about the pronunciation. Patreon. Read it. What's it say?
Patreon. Okay. So are we here right now?
Welcome to Patreon.
So we're in Patreon right now.
We're here.
So how did I move?
We virtually relocated you to this wonderful village.
You got to tell me these things, man, next time.
Well, thank you for playing around. I appreciate the sarcasm. But on a serious note, and we're not here to play any games. Yes, we are on episode 205 of the Crown Refs podcast. We have over 45 new episodes that we just produced over these last few months, and over 85 new videos that are on the platform. So that's what we're here to do today, is talk about Patreon and all of the content that's been loaded into it, and another wonderful app called Discord. So sorry about the confusion to Zach and the audience. I hope I brought you up to speed. You understand now?
I think I get it. I think so. You're going to have to teach me a little bit more, though. I'm still kind of confused because somehow we moved and you didn't tell me. So I have no idea what we're doing.
So yeah, the cool thing about Patreon is it's off social media. It's a private platform. Okay, so it's very different from the social platforms that we're on and we use every day. This is a private room. It has so many different capabilities. A lot of the capabilities that YouTube and Spotify has, they're kind of all wrapped into one. So Patreon is an app for creators to get paid off their audience. It's a content app. It hosts any type of content. And that was one of the real appealing things as I learned about Patreon. From a creator's point of view, you can upload a podcast, you can upload a video, you can upload an article, any type of media can be, housed on this platform. Not every platform has those capabilities, right? So I thought it was an amazing app to kind of create new content. So that's what I did. Once I learned about Patreon, I immediately thought Netflix. I thought this could be my Netflix, like Reflix. Because it's just this private place, and the creation gets different if you're creating for people in a private place versus the public. Everybody that's on Patreon is going to be invested and want to be there. So the content that I can create is going to be a lot different, and I think a lot deeper and a lot better more access to just officiating and Crown Refs. So those are some of the initial ideas of Patreon. What are your thoughts on that?
It sounds great so far. So you're saying that with a smaller, dedicated community, you can create deeper content, more focused content, and really drive home some of the things we want to teach, as far as in the officiating community. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, once I, was discovered Patreon, that's when I thought, again, I told you about Reflix, but that's when I became a professional content creator. That's when I'm like, all right, I'm going pro content creation wise. So I need to start thinking a little bit differently. And I basically started thinking like a Hollywood director for officiating. I wanted to create shows, series, documentaries, docuseries, movies, like long form stuff that officials really have never had access to, vlogs. So that's what I started doing. Back in March is when I discovered it, and I went into production there. First show we did was called No Off Season, and we'll get into all the shows after. But my idea was to put out original referee shows that are going to be exclusive to Patreon.
Sure. So just a question I have, because we moved and nobody told me. All these shows that you're coming up with, all this new content, am I going to be able to access any of that through the original platforms, Apple, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, or are you going to try to tailor it more toward Patreon only?
You'll continue to see content being published on those platforms, but it's going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot less because my focus has been on Patreon these last 4 or 5 months. And that's the really cool thing for me. And I think the audience is, you don't have to go to 4 different apps. You don't have to go to 4 different places to see everything. When I put out content, I go to Instagram, I post it. Then I go into Facebook. I got to post it 50 different times because I'm in 50 different groups. Then I go to LinkedIn and I post. Then I go to YouTube and I post. So it's constant bouncing around. It takes a lot of time. Now my energy is focused on one place and I'm able to move a lot quicker. And I wanted to blow referees away with the amount of content that is loaded up. I mean, it's a new library of stuff. I've never put out more than 1 episode at a time. Maybe 2. Maybe I put out 2 in a day, but there's never been this kind of massive release of published content. And that's another cool thing about this is I'm changing the dynamic. Normally I release one episode, then I'll release some clips from that episode, then we'll go do the next episode. Now it's like, here you go, Zach, 45 new episodes, 85 new videos, 14 referee shows. It's like a kid in a candy shop.
So if I want to sit on the couch, just binge it, eat my popcorn, I can watch 40 shows.
Listen, I know there's a lot of dedicated officials that watch all the stuff because I get analytics on when they're watching. So I know. I wanted to get a huge head start on the people that watch everything and have heard everything. So I basically have a 4-month head start on the listener because I've been publishing content on Patreon basically since March. So you, my friend, have a lot of catching up to do. And I think that's part of the appeal with being able to go to a new place. Think of this like digital real estate, Zach, right? We're moving to a new location. If I'm going to ask you to move to a new location, I have to make sure the place I'm asking you to move to is already a built up city. You're not going to go move to a ghost town with me.
You're right. I wouldn't.
I mean, I know we respect each other, but you're not moving to a ghost town with me.
Yeah, I respect you. I'm not moving to a ghost town with you. Apparently, you're going to forcibly move me, without telling me.
But you would move to a vibrant new up and coming city that's being built with dedicated and passionate basketball officials, wouldn't you?
You know what? I would go in a heartbeat. No question.
So that's part of the appeal, to the audience is, hey, this city's already built. It's not like, hey guys, this is my new project. I'm going on to Patreon. Go check out my last episode. And I have 2 videos up there. That's not going to work. So that's why it took me this time 4 months. And it took a lot of discipline to not want to release some of those episodes along the way. Cause like I'm sitting here in April, like with 7 new episodes of my show. I'm like, would love to put this out. But that's when I started thinking differently into what is premium content versus what is public free content. Social media is starting to go a little bit more private, and that's why Patreon, it has a lot of social media aspects, but it's under a private roof. And Discord, and we'll get into Discord for those of you who don't know about Discord, but again, another private platform that's going to be for patrons only. And I just think the amount of education that's going to lie in those 2 platforms is going to be revolutionary for the industry. I don't know.
So you've been talking about season 4 for a long time. Is this what you've been alluding to?
Yeah. So season 4, most people don't know that, Crown Refs podcast has seasons. So I don't expect anybody to really know, but I wanted to keep it a little bit cryptic. If you look at season 1, that was episodes basically 1 through 50. That was just Crown Refs making the connections, establishing a presence, a media presence, a social media presence for referee content. Season 2 was pretty much our collaborations with some of the best officiating minds in the world. Season 3 was basically the launch of our IPR program, our film review service for officials, which completely acted like a platform for this next launch, because I was able to take a lot of the, what I call as IPR family, and bring them over to Patreon and start with my organic IPR community. And that's the way I want this platform to populate out. And like I was telling you off the air, it's a real blessing and a privilege that I can just, feature you on there and bring Ryan over and bring Pedro and Carmelo. And I wouldn't want to do it any other way. So season 4 is our launch to Patreon, episodes 160 all the way to 205. Season 4 is going to continue. I don't know when season 5 will happen. We're going to keep rocking with season 4 for a while, but it's a mass release. When Netflix drops your favorite new show and you get to watch 13 new episodes and you're like, wow, I got the next week, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be sitting on that couch watching this show. I wanted to create that feeling for officials in a big, big way. So that's what we're doing. That's what we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm glad to be a part of it. You mentioned a few names, a few of us that have had a sneak peek at some of this stuff. You got me on the edge of my seat. So is there any way we can take a look at Patreon today?
I think that'd be a great idea. Why don't we screen share? We can scroll through some of the content and we can actually do a little bit of a Patreon tutorial as well.
Sounds great. Patreon.com. go to login.
Would you say getting on the platform is pretty easy? It's only a few clicks, right? When you signed up?
Very easy. And I have a question for you too. You said you have Patreon in the App Store, so I can get this on my phone?
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
The videos are, half of them are about in vertical screen and then half are in widescreen. So a lot of the vertical ones you obviously meant to watch on your phone. So you're definitely going to want to get on your phone. So as you get to the Patreon feed, just like Instagram, you're going to scroll down. One real cool thing about the feed is you have the option to change the timeline, or excuse me, the chronological order of the posts. So you can go oldest to newest or newest to oldest. So if you wanted to go in chronological order of the when I started posting back in March to our most latest release, the last thing that we published was the Penny Davis episode. So it just depends how you would want to view your feed, but that's pretty cool that you have the option there.
Sure, absolutely. And it is similar here to Instagram. You have a vertical feed and you scroll down through. So I can also sort by just any month I want. Can I search post? Yeah.
So this is another real key feature, is you have the ability to search content within the Crown Refs feed. So you're searching hashtags. Now underneath that, you'll see all of the different hashtags that I selected. I have over 153 keywords, some way more than others, like communication, you'll see like 40 times, because I thought there was over 40 episodes where we gave communication tips. You can type in signals and find episodes that provide signal, education. You can type in the titles. So for instance, right here, you got the CR vlog. You can just type in CR vlog. Another search word would be the first name of the person featured. So if you look on every post, you type in D, you're going to see all D's content. And there's multiple clips, multiple videos of her. You type in Penny, you're going to get Penny's podcast. You type in no off season, all of the episodes are going to come up, both video and audio. So the search is going to be a big tool for officials locating the content, because as I continue to add, the feed gets longer and longer. This platform doesn't have a gallery, so to speak. So your ways of accessing the content would be scrolling through the feed or typing through the search and clicking the hashtag searched names or titles.
Sure. So you could search some of your favorite shows, like just happens to be here, Video Rules Talk. Who was that, Zach Murphy? Yeah. So you want to find your favorite show, you just type it in. I like that.
You can also change media type, right? So scroll up, you have the option to search by image. So search just the picture content that we put up, search by video, or search by audio. So I think that's pretty cool. You are on Crown Refs Mentor, so you have access to all of the tiers below. So you would see the Crown Refs Pro and Crown Refs Plus content as well. You can also search by month.
I really like that, and I like the chronological sorting. I like that I can search for anything. It's you do have a ton of hashtags here. I see a lot of interesting things. One question I have
for the audience, Zach, for the audience, could you run through some of those titles?
Sure. On these podcasts, the tags, we have podcasts, we have plays, short clips, coaches, play calling, game notes. A lot of us are familiar with that. No off season, one of the new shows we'll get into soon. Mechanics, signals, Roger Hayers, maybe. That's a throwback. NBA, yep. We mentioned Penny. Yeah, so there's just a ton of stuff here.
And Zach, you can even find your name, I believe.
My name, yes.
I think 2 times for your audio and video. Let's see what happens. By the way, as we are speaking, I want to give a huge shout out to James Jenkins, who has just joined the mentor tier. Mr. James, thank you, sir.
James, welcome to the family. If you're watching this, you just texted Paul, just interrupted our show. No, I'm kidding. There we go.
There you go.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, that's another thing, is I want to be able to educate people on this new platform. Please don't get nervous. Like, oh, what is this new app? I got to go get it in the app store. Like, let's please not do that. This is innovative education for officials. We just have to make that relocation. I'm telling you, Patreon and the capabilities of Discord, and we're going to get into Discord after this, are going to be incredible for officials.
So what are some of the shows that I can access? You mentioned a bunch of new shows that we've got on Patreon. Can we go through some of those? Can you tell us?
Sure. Let's search No Off Season. One of our signature shows had 2 cameramen come film me in my games and had me mic'd up. So I don't know if you've ever saw NBA Wired, but that was definitely an inspiration for this series. NBA Wired was always like a little appetizer. It was like, oh, I want more of that. You're showing officials for a minute. I want to see like a whole series of that. So that's kind of what we did with No Off Season. Let's give you a full 9 episodes docu-series being wired up. So Zach, you can find episode 1 in this post, or you can scroll down to the episodes. This is more of this is like the poster promotional post, but there is episode 1 in there, and it would probably be best to
scroll down. We got a ton of episodes here.
So we have 9 episodes and 5 podcast episodes. So you can also listen to these episodes, and I combine them on the podcast, cut them in half. So you'll see like multiple episodes in one for the podcast.
Right.
So if you just click episode 1, give them a little taste test. So this was filmed at Crown Basketball and the Island Garden. It was a high school tournament that we did, sponsored by the Ref Rant. So shout out to Ralph, who put on a great tournament and happened to bring the film crew that day and recorded actually it was 2 weeks of recording, 2 separate days, about 5 hours worth of content. So 9 episodes there. And if, again, I probably wouldn't put out this type of content on Instagram just because it's never been about me. It's never been about putting out, videos of me on the court. I was a little hesitant on doing that, but on this new platform, I'm like, no, let's go all in. The people that want to be there, I'd be more than happy to give them access to me there,
Sure. Sounds really cool. We can hear maybe your interactions with some coaches, with some players. We'll really have to dive into that, especially because you have so many episodes. This looks awesome. I'd love to talk about this all day, but we got a lot of shows to cover. So tell us another show we can talk about.
Yeah, I want to get into Through the Lens, but real quick on the another cool thing about Patreon is when you click the post, it's much better than Instagram because it's like scrolling through an article. Like I can add pictures to the actual post. So you can either, when you pull up a post, you can click the video and watch it right away, or you can click continue reading, and then that opens up the post. And then it looks more like a website where, like I said, it's like an article. So I can add pictures to the post, and it makes the post pop a little bit more versus just text.
Yeah.
Next one I want to get into, and I think you're going to love this one, is called Through the Lens. Now, when I was, I'd always heard about camera glasses and officials using them at camps to make sure they're watching in their primary. That was the reason why officials would record, to go back and watch the footage with clinicians and just make sure their eyes are in the right spot. So if you click the link below right there, that'll bring you episode 1. But my idea was, all right, let's go ref the game. Let's record the game. And then let's go post-produce the footage for a show called Through the Lens. How do you like that title?
Through the Lens, very smooth, very catchy, and really captures what the show is going to be about. I believe this is Mark Davis, former Crown Refs guest.
Yes, sir. Episode 92, 94, approximately.
Somewhere in there.
So just scroll through like a minute or 2 in, just so you can get a visual on what the footage looks like. Yeah, man, we're going Crown Refs. I got you. Yeah, got you. That guy, he's a cool guy. Number 4. He spotted the glasses right away. He's like, "What are you doing with those?" I'm like, "I'm recording." He goes, "You got a YouTube show?" I said, "Yeah, Crown Refs." He goes, "All right, I'm gonna check it out." I said, "All right, cool." I think this is gonna be a real good new show because I'm able to record the footage, but then on the post-production is where we can get really ref nerdy and we could start labeling plays, adding comments to the plays, and then you'll hear the voiceover on top of that is where I can provide additional layers of education. So I've really had a fun time producing this show. I got 3 episodes. You can let it play. Maybe just
play. I got to do a better job. Freeze it. As you can see, I'm stacked. I'm looking directly at A1, number 10. And I don't even see the defender. So I got to do a better job of stepping down 2 to 3 spots to see in between that offensive player and defensive player.
So as you can see here, double play.
Got a block charge play. What do you got? Most important
Freeze frame it.
Thing here was
what do you got, Zach?
The defender.
Offense.
To that last defender as soon as possible. Right here, I'm already reffing the defender.
I was ready for it. I was ready for the punch, but you guys changed the mechanic.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I love the vantage point. I mean, we always, obviously, this is the angle at which we see the plays. So, sometimes when we're watching film and the camera angles and stuff, camera angles they're not always the best. So taking a look right from your eyes and you having that commentary from the court, from your angle, it's really, really cool.
And I just recorded 2 more episodes. So I'll have episode 4 and 5 coming out very soon. And I recorded on some outdoor men's league summer basketball, some really good games. So I think that content is going to look really good. Why don't we search Signal School and let's pull up the episode we did with Ryan. Actually, we did 2 with Ryan. The first one.
Look at that, uncle and nephew.
Uncle and nephew, not this one.
Like hit a little bit, but
so
his left hand while having it straight out.
I met Ryan back in February, where he did his IPR, and actually this was just a post called Signal School. It was part of our IPR session where we were practicing our mechanics. I called it Signal School. And that's the real cool thing about ideas when they can evolve. This actually turned into a show, and it's actually going to be a service on the mentor tier. We're all going to do Signal School virtually through video. This is the second one I did with Ryan. This is in person. It's pretty cool. This is at Rogers Camp. The last day, as everybody was leaving, we had to catch 2 flights like later in the day, so we had a little bit of time to work on signals. Just went to a gym, and press record. So about a 14-minute episode. We run through a lot of the major signals. As you can see, I can label top left and provide additional comments, additional tips.
So just monitor that we're not hitting too far out, because the first one looked
sure. And you said this is going to be a recurring thing we do on the mentor tier. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, when I do it, I just like.
Yes. So the mentor tier is going to meet multiple times per week, but definitely going to have one organized discussion. And we have a few different ones that we're going to offer, like rapid responses, coach first ref. We'll have a film review and play sharing and do that. But also, I want to practice signals right through Zoom. So like we'll go around the room. Let's say there's 4 people in the group. We'll watch Zach. Zach, show us your block on the spot and show us how you're going to report it to the table. Do it 5 times so we can see a little bit of a sample size. And then we'll critique you, watch you, give you tips. And then I'll go. You can critique me, maybe pick up a few things, and we'll just go around there. And it's a way to work on our signals together as part of an organized practice.
White, 22, hit. Numbers are looking a lot better.
Really like that idea. And we'll get into tiers and all that in just a bit. Before we leave this screenshot, though, where can I get this Crown Refs merch? This looks really cool.
So the Crown Refs merch is available on the link in bio. We partnered up with BSN. Actually, if you Google BSN and Crown Refs, you can find the link right away to the store. But the link is located in my Instagram bio. Or anybody listening, reach out to me directly and I'll send you the link.
Cool. All right.
Let's look at the CR vlog. Now, this is a shot in vertical screen.
You're not here by accident. You're here because you're not interested in being average. You're here because you're not looking to do a good job or do nice work. You're here because you're driven to do special things. Because you have an inner voice that's telling you that you're great, that you were meant to be successful, that your time is coming. And no matter who or what tells you otherwise, you gotta have that constant internal belief in you, in your failures, in your mistakes, in your losses. That's all part of the process. And the process is where the passion lies. The journey is always better than the destination. And we are literally traveling there together. Serve the game.
I'm trying to give you chills, Zach. I hope the intro gave you chills.
I got them right now. If you can see them.
Yeah, so this was a really special piece of content. In June, we went down to visit my family down in Georgia, my wife's family. They all moved from New York to Georgia like a decade ago. So we go down twice a year. I met Christian a few months earlier. You know, I knew he was from Georgia. So as our relationship grew, and I said, hey, I'm going to be, you know, how far do you live from Loganville? And he's like, oh, 45 minutes. So I had the idea, maybe I can meet up. Maybe I can go watch him ref, give him some tips, you know, meet him and shoot some content. So I was like, all right, let's shoot a vlog. You know, I've never done like a vlog before. So it was really cool to feature my family. I got my nephews right here. My real nephews. Sorry, Ryan, these are my real nephews. And, you know, we were able to film at my father-in-law's house. So you got a quick view of my father-in-law, then the drive to the facility, walking in the facility, our interactions with Christian. Also met Donald, who happens to be a big fan of the podcast, who heard I was coming and then switched courts just so he can work the game that I was watching. And then we went out in the parking lot. You can let it play while I'm talking. Then we went out in the parking lot and had basically a pregame. I called it the parking lot pregame. Postgame.
Welcome to Patreon.
But just really different content. I think officials are really going to like this episode.
And we're getting ready to go watch Christian guitar.
And this is something I'll continue to do, to see our vlog. Hopefully, you know, maybe every Georgia trip, because I know there's a few other Georgia people that are close. I know Pedro's moving down, but I definitely want to continue this series.
Yeah, Pedro's coming. I'm not too far. You know, I'd make the drive whenever you come down next time.
45-minute drive. I'm here with the Crown Refs Southern.
I've never recorded myself in the car on Crown Refs, so that's what I'm saying. It's just like new access, it's new visuals that I think people will appreciate.
My other son, nephew, Christian.
A real
So
nephew.
we recorded some of the drive, and then you know, the interaction with Christian. So this is a 45-minute episode or a 43-minute episode you can watch or listen, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Christian and Donald.
Absolutely.
So this is Coach D's Court, another one of our signature new shows. There's one episode available, something I'm definitely going to continue to build on top of. Episode 1 is dedicated completely to the player
Crown
control
Refs,
foul.
a brand new show called Coach D's Court, exclusively on Patreon. Serve the game.
Wanted to do a episode where we talk specifically about one play or one ruling or, you know, one signal. So I chose this one first and basically talked about the definition of it. I listed the different types of player control foul that we see in the game, whether it's dropping of the shoulder or the ward off. And then I showed the 6 different locations on the court where we're usually going to make that call, right? Trail on the left, we got trail on the right, center on the right, center on the left, lead on the left, lead on the right. You're going to call the foul a little bit differently. You're going to present a little bit differently based on your body positioning. So I thought it was good to kind of show the different variations of player control foul.
Sure, so you really get into all the mechanics, you know, different positions on the court. Talk about, I'm assuming, the ruling. Talk about a little bit of tips, maybe. Breaking it down into types.
Now, Zach, you had an opportunity to watch this show. What were your thoughts?
I thought this show was phenomenal. Later in the episode, you really diagram, you bring some virtual players out. You give a lot of examples like we just saw there mechanically of the player control foul. See how many examples you've got. There are a ton of more examples like this in the show. You give examples of, I want to call it this, physically, I want to present the player control foul signal in this way or that way. And there are, I think, 6 different types maybe that you get into, different types of player control fouls. You talk about philosophies of the back down and the post. I know you get into later. So you really touch on almost every possible player control foul aspect in terms of mechanics, in terms of types of player control fouls that you're going to see. There's another type I just mentioned here, the post back down. You really get into that. You take a deep dive into every aspect of this. So it's a really phenomenal show, and I'm looking forward to more episodes of this coming out.
And appreciate that. And this show, I think, can go a lot of ways, whether I just talk about fouls or I talk about situations. I also see it evolving into like interviewing players on the court, having interactions, maybe with a player, just me and them on the half court, and I can interview them about misconceptions or whatever. So I think this show has legs to kind of go different places than episode 1.
Absolutely. This is a must watch on the Crown Refs Plus tier. Okay, so tell me about Refs Can Ball. What kind of show is that?
So Refs Can Ball is a show where I videotaped myself and another referee in one episode and a player in another episode playing a friendly game of jump shot 1-on-1. Basically, I was at an AAU tournament, working 6 games. Game 4 gets canceled, so you have that hour break. What do? Do you sit on your phone? I've done that many times. Or do you get out and do you challenge your good friend in a friendly game of jump shot 1-on-1? Jump shot 1-on-1, meaning no hard drives to the hole. Remember, we have 3 more games to ref, so we have to stay healthy, not get injured. That's why it's jump shot 1-on-1. Perfect game for me. So yeah, we just recorded the footage and turned it into an actual show. My buddy, shout out to Mike Van Gelder. It was his idea to just record it. So once we recorded it, I'm like, all right, let's just record it all, get some great shots. I'll go and I'll make this an actual real show. So I played 1-on-1 with my friend Mike Evans. The first game, we split 1-on-1. We didn't have a chance to play the third because the new game, our next game was starting. And then the following week, I actually played the scorekeeper in one of my games, who was a college player, and he served it up to me pretty good. I think I lost 14-10 or 15-10. So my record on the year is 1-2. But I thought this was a pretty entertaining show for referees to see. Actually, I think it's entertaining for players and non-officials to see a referee who can play. Anytime, I'll shoot a jump shot and a little kid will be walking by, and the fact that I don't look horrible shooting and I have somewhat of a nice jump shot, he's like, yo, that ref can shoot. So I think there's a natural affinity to referees that play well. Like, these videos go viral of these refs dunking in warm-ups. So gravitate towards that kind of stuff. So that's why I think this is pretty entertaining content. And it's also, I'm here to show you that I can ref too, because I can play.
Yeah, I agree with that. It adds a little bit of credibility. You get a little bit of street cred, and we got to have another episode though to see. You got to work on your record a little bit. We got to have a winning record for Coach D.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. We're trying to get my record back up to 500 on the year.
Tell me about Wonderful Women of Officiating. We've seen some of those episodes before, but you're still working on that one and you're expanding on that. You mentioned Penny Davis.
Yeah, so the Wonderful Women of Officiating, we dropped 5 episodes this past spring, and we continued the series on Patreon with episode 6 and 7. Episode 6 is featuring the legend Dee Kantner, who has the most Final Fours in NCAA history, both men's or women's. She spent time in the NBA. She was one of the first female officials hired into professional men's sports, along with Violet Palmer. And then episode 7, we had Penny Davis, who's the national coordinator of NCAA women. So pretty two amazing guests there. Hope officials enjoy those episodes.
It's a throwback to season 2 with all the heavy hitters in the officiating game. You're really getting everybody on. So that's going to be a definite one to watch on Crown Refs Plus. I got one more here. The Real Coach D. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, so my new show is called Coach D's Court. You know, I'm a phys ed teacher. I've adapted the name Coach D for the past decade. Hundreds, thousands of kids have called me Coach D, so that's been my name. But the original Coach D is my dad. I grew up calling him Coach D. All my friends grew up calling him Coach D. That's just what he was known by. He's my coach now, you know. So it's just a real pleasure that I can actually have my father contribute to a new motivational mindset type show. There's one episode currently on the platform. I actually just spoke to him yesterday about episode 2 because he's psyched now that he's like a content creator for Crown Refs. Episode 2 is going to be about teamwork. So he's going to, you know, record it himself, send me the footage. I'll edit it and put it out. But it's something I want to do monthly. He's going to continue. You know, he's a great teacher of the Word of God too. He's been doing that for years and years. So he's a really, really good speaker. He's basically been making unrecorded podcasts for a long time. So I think it's really good to channel him now and bring back kind of like his coaching style under the referee umbrella, so to speak.
Yeah, that's really awesome, and it's cool to see that you're working with your dad and you're having him on there. I know he's enjoying it. I'm sure, probably more than you are, you know, being on the show. So that's really cool.
So we have another batch of game notes also on the platform. I believe there's 9 or 10 new episodes of game notes, which is our longest running series. That's actually it wasn't the first show I did. I've had a few shows before that, but I just remember thinking about being strategic about wanting to like start a new referee show. That's when I started saying, all right, shows, referee geared series, like ESPN style, you know, game show style. So that's kind of maybe the evolution of where we're at now. The fact that we have like 15 different shows. I mean, I thought it was 13. Then you're like video rules talk we have. I'm like, damn, there's just new shows just keep popping out. So Coaches versus Ref, that's a new show that we just started. There's 2 episodes available. I'm editing episode 2, but that'll be done soon. The Camp Commute is a 3-part series, and that was me and Ryan again, filming our car rides to Rogers Camp every morning. So there was 3 different days at camp, and we filmed our 4 to 8 minute car ride and the interactions that we had about camp, about other things. So again, that's kind of new access and content I've never really made before.
So it's really cool. I mean, you're covering, when you talk about Reflix, you've got a show for everyone. You got a show that pretty much just covers any possible aspect of officiating. And that's just, I think it's really groundbreaking. I don't know that there's anything else out there that's like that, where you can all just access it all in one place. You might have to go here to get one thing, and you might have to go there to get another thing. But you know, with Patreon, you're putting everything, like we talked about earlier in the episode, all in one place. And so it's easy on you as a creator, but it's also easy on me. I can go get everything I need one place.
Yeah, that's basically the vision. You know, I want to make it as accessible, and you know, we're in one location now. It's just time. It saves time. And just to finalize the rest of the shows, also Courtside Conversations is another short form series of me interviewing officials and actually participants just of the game. I interviewed a coach. I interviewed a site supervisor, officials, and voices from the community are some of our strong supporters that have been supporting us for a while, an opportunity to kind of present them on the platform as well. So those are the shows. Hope we recap them nicely for you, but more importantly, I hope you get a chance to watch each and every one of them on Patreon.
So is this Discord? We talked about Patreon early on. Discord is going to be in conjunction with Patreon. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of ideas. I think a lot of innovations. So yeah, people that come onto Patreon also get access to a second app. So we're going to 2 different apps. Patreon is where our content lies, and Discord is where the conversation continues. Discord is a communications app, much like WhatsApp, Clubhouse, Telegram, Slack, those kind of apps. But it's an app where you can create channels. So the Crown Refs server has over 20 different channels of topics. It's a way to segment and really fragment officiating into each niche, right? Or each level, so to speak. For instance, we have a FIBA chat. So any of the officials that work FIBA are able to conversate in this chat, share plays, share ideas. And I think that's a great way also, to connect. Same thing, Pro Rules Talk. So the officials on the platform that are interested in moving up in the pro game, they have access to Pro Rules Talk, share rules, network, meet other officials. And a lot of these chats have already been populated with conversations. So newer officials joining the Discord, it's not like you're walking into a blank page. You have content that you can scroll back up to. Why don't you list some of the other channels you see, Zach?
Right. NFHS Talk. This is very active. Most of us do high school basketball, of course. So we talk about a lot of things, with the high school rules. This one is very populated. I send a few quizzes in here from time to time that I make. We have a lot of good discussions, even maybe not always rules, but could be mechanics, could be philosophies in the high school system. So again, we have all of these things that we break down per level. We have men's talk here, as you can see. This is a discussion we have about basket interference and goaltending. We sent a few rules comparing high school and the men's rules. Women's talk, the same thing. I've sent a few quizzes in here. Screenshot from the CCA manual. The new women's shirt. What do you think about that, Paul?
I like it.
It's similar to the men's now. I like the men's shirt a lot. The blue is a little odd to me, but it's definitely growing on me. So you see, though, we talk about a ton of stuff. I mean, we have mental performance here. There's Nick B.
These chats, they just barely started. Like they're a month old. So there's so much on here already, and it's like the beginning.
You see how much I'm scrolling up, and it just keeps going and going. We got rapid response. This one earlier in the chat, we had sent, sometimes we send maybe a bad thing a coach said to us, and we talk about how can we respond. See if I can find an example of that. Right here. Ryan sent a couple of things a coach maybe said. I sent a couple of responses. We talked about it. You see here, we just do this. We break everything down per chat. And like Paul said, these chats have been populated already. They're only a month old, but we got a ton of stuff in here. Ask any question. Just random stuff. This is me. I was in DC not too long ago. I said my first act as POTUS, I was going to, what did I say, 5 times the current officiating rate for everybody. Don't think anybody can argue with that one.
President Murphy, we support you, sir.
Absolutely. General referee tips. We talk about play sharing channels where we just send plays. We were talking about a rule here. Video rules talk with Zach Murphy, but no, I sent 3 backcourt plays here, and we broke those down. I mean, we send and discuss plays in this channel all the time.
And the Discord has led to content that we're able to develop. Like, for instance, the idea of coach versus ref just started in the Discord chat. We elevated into a new video or a podcast show. So there's just so much going on in here. So many different pieces that we're kind of pulling from and making it all work, bringing it all together at the end. If you scroll down, you'll also see voice channels. So that's where the mentor group is going to meet. If you look at that locked channel right there, that'll be locked. So everybody that comes on to Patreon is going to get access to Discord. But the people in the mentor group are going to be on that locked channel, and that's going to be the small group setting. where we already have officials in there now, and it's been going great. Zach, Crown Refs has never had like a platform for everybody to connect and speak on. The only time we speak, right, is in the comments section, but that's not long lasting. That's just for that post, and then you put on another post and that conversation's gone. So I think it's so cool. Basically, this is the Crown Refs chat room with different channels.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked off air about, the voice capabilities of Discord. So just as if you're not familiar with Discord, I can join this voice channel at any time. Paul, no one has to like turn on the chat or anything. You just join the channel and you can talk to anybody that's in the channel. If you guys are having a conversation in one of these chat rooms or one of these channels, and you're thinking maybe it will be better to talk about it, you just hop in the channel and you're there and you're automatically connected, and you can have 10, 20, 30 people on the chat at once. Might get a little hectic, but the point is you can join any of these voice channels at any time and immediately start a conversation. So it's really, it's a cool platform. We can have a ton of discussions about, a ton of things at any time. And the Patreon group, anybody that's in Discord, like you mentioned, is going to have access to this. So it just really facilitates, the ongoing dialogue and the Discord, maybe that's where it gets its name, that we have with each other.
Yeah, and just one thing about the chat room. Now, chat rooms on the internet, at least with referees in my experience, haven't been the greatest culture, right? So
Sure.
For instance, like you go to Facebook and you just have referees that are bashing each other and not acting like good partners, So that's another amazing thing about us establishing this platform for communication is it's all under the Crown Refs framework and culture of wanting to get better and putting the official first and wanting to be a great partner. So if everybody signs up for that and comes onto the platform with that attitude, which they are, because you're listening now, it's going to create so much better of a conversation and education. For instance, nobody's hopping in these chats just sharing like hollow opinions, just coming off like super opinionated, like they know it all. That's just not part of this platform. That's just not part of the culture. Everybody is commenting to develop the conversation and help develop the official on the other side.
Absolutely. This is a good example of this. This is a play I sent that I missed. If I can turn the audio down. Anyway, we talked about this play. I sent it because I missed it, and not to like, oh dang, I missed it, but just for everybody to learn and for me to learn from this. And we talked about why did I miss it and why is it not a foul. This discussion was, like Nick said, great self-evaluation. We just talked about it and we learned from it. We're not here to, if somebody sends a play and they got it wrong, we're not going to be like, haha, you missed it. We're here to help each other grow and get better. That's what this is all about.
And one thing that you said about, starting your own voice channel, I actually, if you can ask me what this would look like a year from now or 2 years from now, I actually see referees establishing their name on this platform as teachers, as wanting to do their, to give back to the game and lead discussions and organize chats. And it could be a platform for the official who's joining to give back to the game and inspire other officials too. So I see people stepping up, like you obviously have already stepped up and you're doing that, but I see more of that in the future. And I think it provides opportunities for officials to grow on the development side of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Rules talk and now video rules talk, has been it's been an awesome way for me to give back a little bit. I'm still up and coming. I'm not, a Division I big name yet, but I can still, make content that helps me learn and then put it out for some other people and they can learn from it as well. So I definitely see some other people, seeing that as an opportunity on the platform to give back. Maybe the Corbin and Corbin show will come at some point in the next couple of years. Yeah, no, seriously, it's a great platform and it's allowed me to grow and work on my maybe being in a crew chief position or something. It's helping me give back and teach a little bit. which helps me. You know, all the stuff I put out, and you would probably say the same thing as well. You learn from it just as much as you teach people. You know, anything that you create that's instructional content, you're learning the whole time. You know, and you take that into your game as well. That's what it's done for me. Anytime I make an episode, I'm just that much better at the end of it. And I become a rules expert as I make the shows, and I work on my communication. Same thing with you, you know, so anybody that steps up, it's going to help not only the community, but it's going to help that person that stepped up as well.
Yeah, I love the fact that you started Rules Talk as a way to develop yourself primarily, right? You're able to share it with all of us, and we're able to grow, but you did that so you can develop yourself. It's not like, hey, I want to start a new ref show, like to get out there. No, you want to learn the rules. This is a way to teach yourself the rules. And then you start teaching other people, which means you're learning twice. So, and I know your rules skills or your rules knowledge has stepped up a lot since you started the show, right?
Oh man, it's gotten so much better, because to teach to make an episode on a rule, you really got to dive into it, you know, and especially with the later episodes and video rules talk, I'm trying to cover all the levels, you know, so I have to know this is the rule in NFHS, this is the men's rule, this is the women's rule, and I'm even talking about the pros. And the next episode I got coming out is about backcourts, and the rule is different. You know, men's has something that women's in NFHS does not. Pro has something that's similar to men's, but I'll get into a deep dive in the episode. So yeah, definitely has upped my rules knowledge 10 times. Now we've heard everything about Patreon, we've heard about Discord, and we've talked about tiers kind of all throughout the episode. So let's kind of take a deep dive into each tier and what we get with each tier. Paul, you want to take that?
Yeah, so this was interesting, the fact that I had to, for the first time ever, price out my content, right? Like, what is the podcast worth? What is a video worth? I've never thought of these things. I've never tried to price myself out. So it took many months of price adjustments, iterations. And what I was doing wrong in the beginning was I was asking the wrong question. The question I had the longest time was, what is it worth? What do I think this content is worth? And my vision of what it's worth and what I priced it at is totally different. But that was the wrong question, because I was selfish. I needed to ask, I needed to see it through the official's eyes. And the real question should have been, what is the most affordable and accessible price to get the most amount of people to want to convert over? So once I realized that was the right question to ask, then I just started dropping my prices, because everything's been free for these last 2.5 years. And as I pivot to a paid model, I don't want to turn people off. I've hoped to impress them with the content so far. And I actually want to impress them with the prices. I think the prices are an opportunity to have people appreciate all of the work that I'm putting up on here and all of the content that's up, and then see the affordable rate. And then having that industry awareness, knowing like what camps are worth, what you spend here, and then kind of seeing the big picture of what I'm priced at as, and I hope officials really can appreciate the affordability of it. So that being said, Crown Refs Pro, I think it's a very fair rate, $7 a month. What is that? $84 for the year. And you get Starbucks access. Yeah, I mean, you get access to basically 95% of the podcast. I say 95 because there'll be some premium episodes, or plus only episodes or mentor only episodes that'll be located in those tiers from like our signature series of guests. But besides that, if you join Crown Refs Pro today, you unlock over 38 new episodes of the podcast. You just scroll down a little bit. So you get to listen to patron only episodes of the Crown Refs podcast. You unlock over 38 new episodes. And then you're able to watch podcast highlights and short form video. So the pro tier is audio, and it's short form video. What that means is you'll be able to see 1, 2, 3-minute clips of our long form videos. I did an episode with Decanter. It was an hour and a half. I'm going to show you 2 3-minute clips on the pro tier, right? and the videos will look different. They'll be produced differently. They'll have new titles. A lot of what you see on Instagram, you'll see in this tier. Also have 2 new shows that you can watch on this tier. That's Courtside Conversations and Voices from the Community. You'll also get early access to some of the public episodes, right? We'll sprinkle in a few episodes here and there for the public, right? Some of the videos you see, I might put out for the public, but obviously not nearly the amount of what I'm putting on Patreon. And then members of this tier will also get access to the Discord platform that we just showed you. So in recap, you get the podcast, you get the Discord, you get short form videos, and you get to be a part of this new private community. And also it says unlimited AMAs, which is Ask Me Anything, which has already been a thing on the public platforms, but you can reach out to me at any time and I'm going to get back to you probably within a day. So that is everything that's included in the pro tier for $7.
Absolutely. Let's go to the, excuse me, out of order here. Let's go to the plus tier.
So the plus tier is Reflix. That's where 100% of our content lies. That's where all of the new shows that we talked about and previewed, where you can find them. No Off Season, Through the Lens, Signal School, CR Vlog, Coach D's Court, Wonderful Women of Officiating, Game Notes, Courtside Conversations, Voices from the Community, Refs Can Ball, the Camp Commute, Crown Classics, which is some of our older stuff that we've sprinkled in on the platform. But you get access to everything we put out, all of the videos, all of the shows, plus only episodes of the podcast. So the Roger Ayers episode, D. Cantner, Penny Davis, you're going to find them on this tier as well. You get access to everything in the Discord. You know, Zach, as you move up on Patreon and tiers, you get access to everything below. So everything I just mentioned in the pro tier is located in the plus and mentor tier as well. Everything in the plus tier is located in the mentor tier. So just to not, repeat everything in the pro tier, but you do get access to that. I don't want officials to think that they have to pick a different package.
Sure.
So to speak.
Yeah. What if I come in on, let's say, the pro tier, and later I say I want to go to the plus tier? Is that able? Am I able to switch tiers?
You are able to switch tiers. I'm not 1,000% how that works, but I know you can upgrade at any time or cancel at any time. I'm not sure if they prorate the rate. Actually, if you joined at pro, and don't quote me, I'm not 100. If you joined at pro at $7 and 3 days later you want to go to plus, I imagine they just charge you an extra $8.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, the plus tier, and again, I had the plus tier at $35 a month at first. One of the first ones was $35 a month. That was $30 a month. Then I'm like 25. And I think it's worth $35 a month. I might think it's worth more than that. You could make the case that like one of these podcasts is worth a camp.
You get a camp's worth of information in a lot of this stuff.
I mean, but that's real talk right there, So, for $15 a month, that's $180 for the year. You get access to everything we're doing moving forward. If Crown Refs has brought you any value over these last 2.5 years, we'd love for you to join the plus tier, or any tier that works for you and your price point.
Absolutely. And, like you said about camp fees, you're going to pay $300-400 for camp plus travel plus food. Imagine how much you spend on camps every summer. $5,000. This is,
and I don't want officials to think that they're just signing up for all the content that's on this platform and they're not going to get anything else. This is just a preload. Everything I'm doing moving forward is coming out on Patreon.
Mm-hmm. You're going to access all the continuing Patreon content. Everything that's coming out in the future will be on this platform. So you get all the stuff that we've mentioned here, plus a future package of a ton of stuff.
Yeah, if you want to view Crown Refs content pre-2021, you can find that anywhere on the internet. If you'd like to see what we're doing in 2021 and moving forward, then you know where to find us. We're on 2 new apps, Patreon and Discord. So let's get into the last tier, the one I'm most proud of, Crown Refs Mentor. I'm so happy that I could like brand the word mentor in officiating. Like, it's a real thing now, Crown Refs Mentor.
Absolutely. It's like your baby.
So Crown Refs Mentor is basically a family-like community of officials who are going to meet weekly to support, develop each other. It's basically the Crown Refs officiating team. It's basically Crown Refs University. It's a year-round instruction. It's basically like we're starting just a new community. And I hope you feel that too with our move to Discord. I know you've been in the launch group, in the early group that came on first, but it really feels like we're all hanging out together.
I'll tell you, it's such a good community that we built so far. I mean, I feel like I know Ryan and Pedro, and I feel like I know all these people, you know, like I've had them for lifelong friends. We've had so many conversations, and we kid around with each other and we have fun, and it's been phenomenal so far. So I can't wait to see when we have more people come in and join the family. We had a couple of people join last night. You know, we welcomed them with open arms, and it's just really fun. And it's a tight, close knit community where we're able to, create content and talk about each other. Coach versus ref, really fun episode that we made. That's going to be something we continue to do going forward with the mentor tier. So absolutely, I'm just really excited to see where this goes and to have everybody come on.
And last night when Adam from Canada joined, thanks Adam, I appreciate you, man. He joined the Discord. He popped in, introduced himself, and then I immediately was able to give him a brief introduction. And then everyone from the house just started saying hello. So what it felt like to me was like I'm bringing Adam inside of our new home, and then I'm like, Zach, Ryan, come downstairs and meet your new brother. And like
Absolutely.
you guys instantly was just greeting him. And I think that's so cool from your perspective and for him to be brought into a new community and then be greeted right away. But that's actually what's going on here. It's real organic and authentic.
Yeah, it's not something that you're gonna, you join and you pay the $7 or whatever, and you're just there, and you see the content. I mean, there's really relationships that are going to be built, and you're gonna be talking to everybody in the Discord, and it's just you're gonna build that family like we talk about. We're coming down from our rooms to say hi to everybody coming in. We're really doing that. I mean, we're building all these relationships. We're making friends with each other, and we're getting to know each other. And it's bigger than officiating. I mean, of course, that's our focus, but how many people are we going to meet through this platform?
So what are you going to get if you join Crown Refs Mentor? You're going to get access to 2 private locked channels on Discord, the mentor's voice channel in the text, and then the mentor's voice channel. So we're going to meet once a week on that voice channel, at least once a week. We're going to have one organized discussion a week. That discussion is going to be a range of topics. The last one we did was rapid responses for officials and coaches versus refs. So just that back and forth communications training, basically. It's something that we all need. We're going to do play sharing and film review. We're going to do live Q&A. We're also going to do something really cool, and I know we spoke about it earlier, is Signal School. So one of the, let's say week 2 is Signal School, 9:00 Wednesday. Could have 5 people in there. We're all going to put our video cameras on, probably it might be on a Zoom call, but we're going to put our video cameras on, and we're going to go around the room and practice our signals. Zach, you show me 5 player control fouls. How are you going to report the numbers at the table? Show me your signal at the table too. And then we'll get that, that practice, that collaboration, that back and forth. And, I've never really heard of officials practicing their signals online together, but that's what I want to create, basically an online practice center for our signals.
It's an ongoing thing. We always need to work on communication. We can always improve. We can always talk about signals, plays. There's so many things that it's going to be every week. We're taking a deep dive into something else, and we're just really going to round out and become a jack of all trades, an expert in everything, hopefully, and it's, like I said, it's an ongoing thing that we have to continue to practice and continue to work on. And I'm really excited for that. The signal school thing, we all practice our signals in the mirror and whatnot, but how often, like you said, do we get in a group and practice our signals? Not very often. I mean, so it's going to be really fun. All these things that we talk about, the weekly meetings, they're not super serious. Of course, we're gonna learn something, but like, for example, the coach versus ref, we were having a lot of fun with that, laughing and joking. I mean, we were learning as well. So it's just a really laid back environment. I think a lot of people are going to really resonate with that. We have a lot of people dedicated, and they're really focused on the same goal, of getting better. And that's what this is all about. So it's really, I'm just really excited for this.
So on top of that, another main benefit of this tier is we're going to do a monthly live podcast event with a special guest. So everybody in the mentor tier is going to join me. Let's say, our first one is going to be with Verbal Judo and bringing Alex Bromley back in. So let's say September 3rd or whenever it is, I don't know. September 3rd, 8 o'clock, Mentor Voice channel. We're going to be doing a communication seminar with Verbal Judo. And then everybody can join the room. I'll interview him. We'll have kind of like a podcast, and then we'll open it up to the group. The group can put questions through the chat, or they can ask themselves and go back and forth. But I want it to be real interactive, and I want to have people join me on the podcast. That's basically what it is. I'm bringing you into the room so you can help interview the guest, so to speak. And I think you'll get a little bit different learning when you're live and you're there.
Absolutely. The mentor tier is just phenomenal. Like I said, I've been one of the early people to have access to this thing, and even with the small group that we've had so far, it's been really good. So it can only get better. I mean, when more people start coming in, and like you said, we start doing these live events every month, it can only go up, and we can only learn and get better. So absolutely, I know why this is your baby. It's your favorite. It's your favorite. Really proud of this one. It makes sense.
There's more.
There's more. Oh, but wait.
Well, this is Crown Refs Mentor is basically Crown Refs University. What do universities offer? What do the professors offer? Office hours. So office hours is something that I'm going to do probably multiple times a week. And once right now it's the summer, I'm a teacher, so I'm off from school. But back when I'm during the year, I'm going to be driving a lot. So this is going to be structured around all the times I'm in the car. So for the week, let's say Monday, I'll put out a post for the mentor tier. I'll be in office hours Monday 3 to 3:45, Wednesday 5 to 5:30, Friday 12:15 to 12:40. I don't know. And then anybody who is available who wants to come in, just like you would at a university when you're going to get more knowledge from your professor or talk about the latest assignment, and you'll have an opportunity to do that. Who will be in it? I don't know. There'll be days where it's probably just me and no one joins. There'll be days where one person joins, and then me and that person will have a one-to-one. There'll be days where 13 or 26 people join, and we'll have that small group instruction. But it's a way to continue the conversation. A ref may just want to hop in and tell me about their game from the night before, talk about some notable plays from the night before, and it's a way for me to utilize the time I'm driving for Crown Refs.
Absolutely. And it's a great way. The whole platform, not specifically the mentor tier, but the whole platform is just a way to constantly keep our mind on officiating, especially these office hours. Throughout the summer, some of us were working a lot of games. I'm working games later today. Even if you're not working games, you have access to this platform to join and talk to Paul and talk to everybody in the mentor tier course and everybody in the Discord. We can just keep our minds on officiating and stay sharp. And if we stay ready, we never have to get ready.
So I look at this tier as a year-round camp, a year-round of instruction. So for the price point that we listed it at, what's $300 for the year? I mean, that's a camp fee. That's pretty much an average camp fee, $300. And how long is camp? 2 days?
2 days, 3 days?
3 days. So I don't know how many days this will be, but it'll be hundreds.
Tons. And in a camp, how often do you have that one-on-one or that really small group discussion tailored to you? I mean, you have 80 campers, and not saying camp is bad, but it's a lot tougher to get that one-on-one discussion and the whole. Imagine the Crown Refs mentor tier is tailored toward you specifically. How often do you get that in a camp?
I just got another idea too. I think for our weekly meetings, I want to look at film, but we can have a ref share his film. We can all watch the film, kind of like a live IPR, a live group IPR.
Yeah.
and then give that official feedback. So I think that's another good idea we can do. There's more ideas popping up as we move forward. So I'm just always in the zone of thinking about ways I can help out refs.
Sure. Just like last night, we were talking about maybe a game show, some kind of format. We don't have it figured out just yet, but we're just constantly thinking of ways that we can just elevate this platform.
Zach, do you have any more questions from you, or what a referee, some common questions you think refs might ask or want to know about this?
We can recap some of the questions I asked. Is the content going to be available? Anything on Facebook anymore? Anything on Spotify? We're going to have any previews maybe?
Previews, yes, definitely. Cover art, yes. I'm getting ready to launch a big campaign onto social media, but it's only teaser videos of where I want you to go onto Patreon. So you're going to see a lot of the cover art. You'll see short clips, and there'll be other video clips from time to time. I'm not going completely dark there, but if you're looking for new Crown Refs content on Facebook, don't hold your breath.
Cool. One of the questions I also asked, oh, sorry, do you have something else?
Just one thing, yes. When officials sign up, they will get charged that day. Doesn't matter what day of the month it is. Mm-hmm. Then moving forward, they'll get charged on the first of the month, that next month, and then every month after that. So that's very important to know, because if you don't sign up on August 30th, because if you sign up on August 30th, you're going to pay the full price on August 30th, and then on September 1st, you're going to get hit again. So be strategic, like when you sign up. Now, I'm not saying you have to sign up on the 1st. That would make the most financial sense. I know Pedro Rodriguez couldn't wait, and I told him this. I said, Pedro, on July 30th, I said, Pedro, wait till August 1st to sign up, or you're going to have to pay twice. He's like, yeah, I will. I'll wait. Then July 31st, I get a notification. Congratulate Pedro. He just became a patron. I'm like, what are you doing? You couldn't wait a day? He goes, I couldn't wait a day. I'm sorry. I'll pay it again. So
he's hungry. He wants to get that content.
I would probably do the same thing. I don't know if I would have did it on the day before, but like, if you're listening on the middle of the month, please don't wait like 2 weeks to save save if you have to. But I guess it comes down to how hungry are you to get on. But
right. Yeah. It's something good to know. A question I mentioned earlier, once you join a tier, you are able to switch. If you decide, hey, I'm on the pro tier and I want to go to the plus, you can do that. You can switch. If I'm on the plus and you're thinking maybe, I don't know, I want to go back down to the pro, you can do that. You're not locked in. Once you join, you're not locked into one tier. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, and I want officials I want this to be patient, and I want it to be a long-term approach. I'm not looking to bring on Zach for 3 months and then you go somewhere else. I want you to be on here 3 years. So I want to do things that keep officials on the platform as much as I want. That being said, if an official wanted to come into the mentor group for 2 months and get that kind of instruction and then drop down to a lower tier, that's a great idea too. If an official wanted to come into the plus tier just to be able to see the long form video content and binge on that for a month and then drop down to the $7 tier, I'm not saying I want you to do that, but I don't control that. So I'm just happy that you showed up, so if I can get 1 month out of you, I would be grateful.
Absolutely. And I think we've covered everything. We talked about all our shows. We talked about Patreon. We talked about Discord. Just a ton of content that we talked about today. And I'm sure my brain, like yours, we talked about so many things. So if you have any other questions about the mentor tier, the plus, the pro, Patreon in general, Discord, feel free to reach out, call. I'm sure he's going to be, you have the unlimited ask me anything. So you can ask Paul a question. You can ask me one. If you'd like, reach out to me. And yeah, I think we covered it all. Paul, did we miss anything?
No, I just want to say, everything I've done with Crown Refs has been natural progression. I haven't forced any steps. Mm-hmm. This feels like such the right move. And I'm really proud of the product. I'm really proud of the content library. I've been working basically locked in a basement for the last 4 months, just been working and doing my 50 hours of research on Patreon and Discord to see if those are the right platforms to do this on, and I have to believe in them, or else I wouldn't be trying to tell you to come over. So I totally believe in Patreon and Discord as those two next apps to really help our officiating. So I'm really proud of this, and I'm really looking forward to hearing officials' feedback on the content, because there is so much, but it just feels good to kind of finally finish all of this post-production and editing and uploading and publishing and trimming, and like there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, but I'm really excited to be here with you today. And I know we kind of put off this episode till everything was finished. Yesterday I finally finished everything, so this was the last step that we had to do, was record this welcome episode and we went pretty in depth. It's definitely over an hour, maybe close to 2 hours, depending on how much we trim it after this. But I'm happy to be able to communicate all of these new ideas with a dedicated audience who has followed, for 3 years. Whether you followed for 3 years or 3 months or 3 weeks, we're happy that you're here listening now. And like I said before, if we've brought you any value in the past, so many people reach out to me, bro, you've helped me so much move up. I got hired into D1. I got hired into D2. I, just got a varsity assignment. Like, years and years and years of hearing this, I obviously knew that we had enough equity built that we can start a new private membership, and hopefully officials, have it within their means to come join us over there. If not, no worries. Thanks for listening. Crown Refs was always icing on my cake. I'm a full-time phys ed teacher. I'm an official, 3-sport official. So this is icing on the cake. Anything on top of this is great. I'm not sitting here today trying to make this my full-time job. Will it? I have no idea. Could it? Possibly. I don't know. I'm not looking for that. I'm well vested with what I'm doing. So my point is, this is just extra. This is just extra, in a way I can give back to the game in the biggest way I know. So if you have any questions, I just want to get this last point out. If you have any questions, you can call or text me directly to the number on the bottom of the screen. Show that right there.
Yep.
For the listeners, it's 845-742-0834. That is my direct T-Mobile line. And if you want any more information on the Patreon or Discord platforms, I will basically say everything I said today to you personally over the phone. I would love to meet you. I would love to connect with you and tell you everything from a one-to-one perspective of what we have going on. But Zach, that's all I have. I appreciate you allowing me to do this, you helping me do this. Your work with Crown Refs has been phenomenal. Real proud of you. Proud to have you here. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope to see you on episode 206 on Patreon.
Serve the game.
Thank you for listening to the Crown Refs podcast. Serve the game.